You could be missing out on a powerful, immediate cognitive boost simply because of outdated information. We're going to dive deep into the hard science that proves that MCT oil has a rapid effect on your brain's energy, even if you're not doing any crazy kind of diet. You don't have to be in ketosis to get the benefits of MCT oil on the brain. We're cutting through the noise. So I'm going to show you the science behind how MCT oil works, even when you're not in ketosis. And then I'm going to give you my exact actionable cocktail to maximize its brain boosting power, something that I've been doing for literally over 10 years. Here's what we're going to break down. First, we're going to look at the groundbreaking study that completely rewrote the rules of MCT oil in the brain. Then after that, we're going to dive into specific mechanisms that explain how MCTs provide direct energy to your brain, even if you're eating carbs. And then I'm going to give you my cognitive cocktail. This is a blend using MCTs that I've found really maximizes my focus, but also helps me burn some fat too. So let's start with the old rules versus the new science. All right, so for years, the conventional wisdom about MCT oil was that they're largely ketogenic, meaning they go to your liver and they get converted into these things called ketones, and then those ketones fuel your brain. Plain and simple, that was it. But the big caveat, if you weren't on a strict ketogenic diet, if you were eating carbs, MCTs supposedly wouldn't do much because you wouldn't be producing enough ketones in the first place. And that's what we were told. But the research has us rethinking everything. I have a fascinating study that I'm going to share in a minute, but I also recommend that if you're doing any kind of dietary strategy and you're trying to reduce calories, try LMNT electrolytes. It can really help you out because the sodium can actually help curb your appetite. They taste delicious. They have a lemonade salt flavor that is out of this world. Feels like you're drinking a lemonade and it's epic. I mean, I would love to drink a lemonade when I'm fasting or a lemonade when I'm cutting calories. So 1,000 milligrams sodium, 200 potassium, 60 milligrams magnesium. Really nice combination that curbs your appetite and gets you the minerals that you need. So that link is drinklmnt.com/Thomas. And it's in the top line of the description underneath this video. And it gets you a free sample variety pack with any purchase. So this study was published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Association, and it challenged this entire idea that I talked about. They recruited individuals and they followed them for 6 months and they split them into 2 groups. So one group received 15 grams of C8 and C10 MCT oil twice a day. The other group received 15 grams of sunflower oil twice a day. And here's the kicker. Both groups consumed their oils in skim milk. If you know anything about skim milk, it has carbohydrates, it has sugar. By traditional thinking, that skim milk should have immediately kicked both groups out of any significant state of ketosis. Yet at the end of the study, the group consuming the MCT oil showed significant improvements in verbal fluency and huge gains in memory recall. In scientific, literal terms, I guess, participants that were on the ketogenic medium chain triglyceride drink had improvements in cognitive outcomes, including specific improvements in free and cued recall. Their verbal fluency went up. They had improvements on what's called the Boston naming test and what's called the trail making test, so cognitive tests. This was also directly correlated with their ketone levels. So higher ketones meant better cognitive results. But wait, if they were drinking skim milk, how are they getting ketones? How are they making this? That's the part that's blowing me and scientists away. Really, it's awesome. So the traditional view says you need to be in deep ketosis for MCTs to truly impact your brain. But this study in skim milk suggests something else, okay? The researchers themselves actually hypothesized within their paper that C8 and C10 MCTs may have a direct effect on brain energetics independent of systemic ketone formation. So in other words, MCT oil might actually improve how your brain operates, even if it's not turning into a ton of ketones throughout your entire body. It's like MCTs have a secret backdoor straight to your brain, bypassing the usual metabolic processes. This is huge, and we're starting to see more data on it now. So think about your brain. It's 2% of your body weight, but it demands 20% or more of your total energy. That is a huge energy drain. So if your brain isn't getting optimal fuel, things don't work. You get brain fog, you lose focus, your memory suffers, and you lose energy throughout your whole body. So there's a clear relationship between insulin resistance in your body and how your brain uses energy. If your body's cells aren't properly absorbing glucose because of insulin resistance, there is an exceptionally high probability your brain isn't either. Probably even worse. The brain relies heavily on glucose, but when that system falters, it needs an alternative. So MCTs offer that alternative, just not through ketones, potentially through a direct pathway that improves brain energetics itself. Okay, it's called network stability. What that means is that there's more energy available to the brain and you'll have more neurological light bulbs communicating across different regions. So if you've been feeling scattered or you're distracted or you're just plain mentally tired, it's because your brain isn't getting the juice it needs, straight up. And this is not just about raw energy, okay? A relaxed brain is a more efficient brain, which brings us to my favorite actionable strategy. This is something that you can do. There is a compound in MCT oil that directly boosts your brain energy, even if you're not in ketosis. So how do we maximize that effect and create a state of calm, focused energy? So I combine MCT oil with matcha green tea, okay? I've always found that mentally I get more out of a green tea, like keto drink, than a keto coffee, bulletproof coffee. Don't get me wrong, I love coffee, but green tea just does something different. There's a synergy. Here's how this cognitive cocktail works. You have the caffeine from the green tea. So this is mobilizing fatty acids from your fat tissue through a process called lipolysis. These fatty acids travel to the liver, where they get converted into ketones, possibly. So you're still getting a ketone boost if you're in a fasted state or a low carb state, but then the MCT oil comes in. And as we've discussed, it directly increases brain energy. So you're getting a dual fuel effect. So you're getting ketones from caffeine-induced mobilization, plus the direct impact of MCTs on brain cells. So you've got theanine in green tea. And this is the secret sauce. Okay, theanine is an amino acid in green tea that crosses the blood-brain barrier and it creates a state of relaxed awareness. So you get energy without the jitters that you would get from coffee. And it does this by increasing what are called alpha brain waves. Combine that with MCT and you get all this cognitive energy, but it's channeled and controlled. Okay, the EGCG from the green tea is a polyphenol. And this is a huge benefit for the brain because it's an antioxidant, helps the brain run cleaner. So the combination of theanine, EGCG, caffeine, and now MCT oil creates a powerful balanced cognitive boost. And it's not just about a temporary pick-me-up, it's sustained, and you can add a little bit of heavy cream to it, and you get some of the CLA, which can also improve fat loss as well. And you're getting a lot of performance and clarity from your brain and also fat loss too. So start your day with like a green tea with MCT oil and a little bit of cream and maybe some monk fruit sweetener, okay? So take a good quality matcha or heck, even like a really strong regular green tea, add 1 to 2 tablespoons of C8 or C8, C10 MCT oil, little bit of heavy cream, a little bit of sweetener, blend it together. And realistically, even if you're not in keto, this will work, okay? You can mix it with hot water, you can mix it with almond milk, coconut milk. You could even do it with regular milk as we've seen with this study, right? So what you're gonna experience with this is probably a rapid improvement in mental clarity, in your focus. You'll feel like you can articulate better. You'll feel energized but calm. This is a powerful hack for anyone that is like dealing with brain fog. It's something that I've been doing for a long time. I still do it to this day, like at least once or twice a week. Okay, the research suggests you don't have to be on a strictly ketogenic diet to get the brain benefits here. I did a video that breaks down what happens in your body, 3 stages of losing belly fat. And I think this is going to be a helpful video to put a lot of things into context. So I linked out to that video right here. I recommend you check it out. It gives you a playbook, so you don't even have to be in a ketogenic state to get that. So that link is right there. Check it out. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow.